feeling cold against your skin. Running through the chaos, letting all the sin. Temptation in a bottle, ready for the night. Craving for the thrill, it's time to ignite. Dark desires burning bright, echoes in the dead of night. No retreat, no looking back on this heart attack.
Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Good to be back again. A very busy day today. We have so many stories to talk about. We have the more news in Texas, Houston, about the Bayou. It's happened again, people, again. We have the woman who thinks she is Madeleine McCann has appeared in court in the UK. We're going to talk about that. I also have more information about Erin Patterson and the DPP's appeal. I got the paperwork this morning, and I'm going to go through it with you. It's good to see everyone. You know, we had a lot of feedback regarding the thing from yesterday, the membership thing, and the overwhelming opinion is that nobody likes it. Apparently, nobody likes it, and nobody wants it to happen. So that's just sort of how it is. Nobody likes the sort of changing the stream mid-stream to a members only type thing. No one likes it apparently. So I don't think we'll be doing that. I don't no one. I don't think one person said they liked it. I think most people were against the idea. So we're probably not going to be doing that here. I'm just trying to find something for you all. Yes, I'll do that in a minute. Okay. I want to first run very quickly through the DPP thing with Erin. So I told you on Monday, we got notification that the DPP had filed their appeal, notice of appeal, and I got the paperwork this morning. It says here that it's addressed to Erin because it's regarding her sentence. It says here, on the 7th of July 2025, the respondent was convicted by a jury of 12 in the Supreme Court of Victoria, Latrobe Valley, of 1 count of attempted murder and 3 charges of murder. On September 8th, 2025, the respondent was sentenced in the Supreme Court of Victoria, Melbourne, as follows, and it lists here in a table. The attempted murder, she got the maximum 25 years, and the sentence was 25 years. And for the 3 counts of murder, she got life in prison, with the sentence being life in prison. But she got a non-parole period of 33 years imprisonment. They also took into account pre-sentence detention, and that was 676 days that were taken into account. It says down here that the DPP, they consider that there is an error in the sentence imposed and that a different sentence should be imposed, and that they are satisfied that an appeal should be brought in the public interest. So that is what they're having to say. And the grounds of the appeal are: the sentencing judge erred in his finding that there was a substantial chance the respondent would be held in solitary confinement for years to come, when such a finding was not open on the evidence, and that finding infected his assessment of the respondent's likely future conditions in custody and his decision to fix a non-parole period. And they say here, the sentence imposed on the offender is manifestly inadequate, in that it was inappropriate for the sentencing judge to fix a non-parole period, or the non-parole period of 33 years is manifestly inadequate. So that they are the grounds of which they are appealing that sentence, and I don't have a date for when this might be heard, but they are the grounds of the appeal. So sounds like they think the judge didn't have a right to give that non-parole period, and that's what they're going to fight on in their appeal. And then the other one was just that it was inappropriate to fix that non-parole period, and that the non-parole period of 33 years was manifestly inadequate. And then the other bit was that, you know, we heard a lot about her conditions in jail, and the judge took that into account, saying that, you know, they couldn't tell him when she would be moved out of that protection suite. And they were like, well, how long's, you know, basically a piece of string? They gave an example of, the prosecution gave an example of Martin Bryant, saying that, you know, eventually people forgot about him. The judge fired back with, well, did they make Netflix documentaries about Martin Bryant? And, you know, I think the reply was, Netflix makes documentaries on everything. So it was definitely brought up about her conditions in jail, especially before sentencing. They did talk about that. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with the appeal court. When this has a date, when it is actually heard, we'll find out a lot more. But right now, that is your update with the appeal on the DPP side. So this is the prosecution side. They want to appeal the sentence, basically saying that that parole period should be removed and it should just be life in prison. Is basically what it is saying, because there's no other sentence that can be given. It's either life in prison with parole or life in prison without parole. And they think it should be the other one. So that is your update with that one. That is the all the information I have on it right now. And we'll find out Aaron's side of it later. It'll happen later on. I'm expecting probably in the next couple of weeks. Next couple of weeks, we'll find out about Aaron's appeal. Okay, let's move. Hey, I'll say hello. Actually, before we move on, I'll say hello to everyone. Hey, Chipmunk, how are you, my friend? Hey, Kathy, good to see you, my friend. What did these women do? We'll talk about that in a minute. Hold on. Mama Mia's here. Hey, Mama Mia, good to see you. Carlisa is here. Betty's here. Marilyn Landis is here. Who else is here? Marilyn Landis. Hey, Marilyn Landis. Wendy made it. Laura T's here. Rachel's here. Yeah, it's everyone's here. Okay, I want to talk about this because I had completely forgotten that she was in jail. I had completely forgotten that this woman, who believes she is Madeleine McCann, was in custody. I forgot. Like, I knew that she was arrested at Heathrow Airport a while ago, and then I just forgot that she was. I just forgot she existed. But apparently, she is now in court, and we heard today some very disturbing information about this woman. Uh, no wonder the McCann. No matter what you think of the McCann family, no matter whether you think they're complicit in their daughter's disappearance, whether you think they're innocent, doesn't matter. The things that this woman did to them, Miss Wandelt, what she did to that family, wow. You just go, holy crap. It was so much more complex than we all thought. We all thought she'd just sort of been harassing them, talking to them, getting in contact with them, talking on social media, that type of thing. No, it sounds like she was like literally stalking them to the point of going through their rubbish. Like, she went to their home, harassed them, phoned them, including calling Kate mum. She called her mum. How insulting to Madeleine McCann's actual mother, Kate. I think her name's Kate. Am I going mental? Um, I probably got the name wrong, didn't I? Good work, Ping. But whatever. They called her Kate. You know, what is wrong? What is going on? And the one thing that keeps coming up with this for me is there was people who encouraged her. There was whole forums of people and people on TikTok and people in Reddit that were like, "You go, girl. You find your real parents." And like, they encouraged all this. They're the ones who like made her sort not made her, but egged her on and were like, yeah, there really is a cover up. And I mean, come on, It's crazy. So they say here that the letter from Miss Wandelt to Mrs. McCann, who she addressed as Mum, has been read out to the jury. She wrote, I'm so sorry for causing you so much distress, but when I saw you yesterday, my emotions were strong. I felt a close connection to you. I don't understand why you don't want to do a DNA test with me. I think you are scared, but whatever makes you scared, just remember that you are stronger than that. The letter was signed off with the word Madeline, not Julia, Madeline, and it was addressed to Mom. Uh, Far out. I mean, crazy, crazy. Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you. Marilyn says, didn't they prove she wasn't Madeline? Yeah, like years ago. Years ago. That for them, it must have felt like they were living in a nightmare, that they had this woman who was harassing them, pretending that she was their daughter, even after it had been disproved several times. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, she is not Madeline. And to sign off a letter as Madeline while addressing it as Mum, like to Mum, oh, geez. Here, defendant accosted Madeline's parents outside their home. They say when Mrs. McCann returned home, the prosecutor said that she was accosted, but not physically, by Miss Wandelt with a demand for a DNA test. The court heard Mrs. Spragg was present, and her behavior was such that Kate McCann was unnerved by it. No, I got the name right. Mrs. McCann told the pair they were causing distress and should leave the property. The court heard that as Mrs. McCann went to the door of her family home, Miss Wendell attempted to stop her from closing the door. She managed to get inside, but was upset by what happened and made a call to her husband. Mrs. McCann could hear bangs at the front door while doing so. So while on this phone call to Jerry, she could hear these two banging at the front door, demanding a DNA test. So, I mean, when you hear some of this stuff, it's just crazy. No wonder they arrested her at the airport. Let's see. Yeah, here. The jury have been shown messages exchanged by the defendants on the 19th of November 2024. Miss Wendell wrote, we should get their DNA. It's the only way to prove it. If Kate was alone at home, she won't be controlled by Jerry. Mrs. Spragg responded, yeah, we could go through their bins, LOL. Um, and then the KC says the ends of which they were willing to go to were quite extraordinary. They were operating as a team and were planning an event, something fairly dramatic, to assist in the agenda they were pursuing. According to the court, they also messaged Operation Grange investigators. So if you don't know Grange, Operation Grange. If you don't know who that is, they are the Met operation who has been investigating Madeline's disappearance in the UK. Now they have their own background, and there's a lot of people who are not happy with them. They have wasted a lot of UK taxpayers' money, a lot, like millions of pounds, millions and millions of taxpayer money. So there's a lot of people who don't like the Operation Grange investigators and believe that they should have been cut off years ago from any more funding. Yeah, they have used a lot of money. And the argument is, why is Madeline so special? Why is she any different to any other missing child? And that's the argument people put up against the funding of Operation Grange, in that they have been given so much more money than other families. Like there's missing children in the UK who have never even had $1,000 of funding for an investigation into their child. Yet Madeline McCann has had something like, I think it's almost 20 million pounds. So it is there is some criticism of them. But they say here the court has been told about messages Mrs. Spragg sent to Operation Grange investigators. In one, she claimed the investigation into Madeleine McCann's disappearance is a cover up and that the truth will come out. And they say, you may be silencing everyone. Julia is not going away. In another message, Mrs. Spragg claimed Miss Wandelt was not lying and has done a DNA test. No, I think we all know that the DNA test she did showed that she was Polish and had no connection to Madeleine McCann at all. Um, okay, that was weird. It's like a parrot outside my home. There shouldn't be, but that's what it said. The hell? Hold on, guys. All right, sorry. I did not locate a parrot. I did not. Yeah, I got lost in the large kitchen. I came back and this is what YouTube money buys you. All this grandiose stuff. Uh yeah, so they claim that the investigation into Madeline's disappearance is a cover up and the truth will come out. Uh you may be silencing everyone. Julia is not going away. I think we'd all hope that Julia will go away. I think we're all a bit done with Julia Wandelt. And they're saying that she's not lying and has done a DNA test. No, she is lying, and the DNA test proves it. They say details of another email Miss Wendell sent to Mr. Payne has been read to the jury. Referring to Mrs. McCann, the defendant wrote, I don't know what to do. I truly believe I could be her daughter, Madeline. I don't think they want me to contact her. And they said, Mr. Duck Casey added, this was a masterpiece of an understatement. And what they mean by that is, yes, they don't want you to contact them. They don't want anything to do with you. And you are 100% right in that they want you to stay away. So Karen Sprague is the other person involved. It's Julia Wendell. Karen Sprague is her friend in the UK who was egging her on and sort of acting as this team that they're talking about and got her to the UK to go and find the truth. Find the truth, apparently. Uh, they're saying here, just that she had contacted a lot of people involved in the Madeleine McCann investigation, and they were just trying to placate her and get her off the phone and not talk to her. They didn't want anything to do with her. Here, in a voicemail Miss Wendell left for Mrs. McCann, in it she described Mrs. McCann putting a pink shoe on her foot as a child and said she knew how stressed and sad she is, and that they're saying here that the members of the jury, that memory that she describes, Miss Wendell, did not happen. Julia Wendell knows that did not happen because she is not Madeleine McCann. So she was going around trying to contact Kate, basically trying to tell her like, "I'm your daughter. I remember when you put me to bed at night and put shoes on my feet as a child." I think it like all these people that humored this woman used her as clout chasing material online, made it so that you put ideas into her head is you're all responsible for this. Everyone who made freaking TikToks and forum posts and Reddit posts and made applications on her behalf and brought her to the USA and got her involved with like famous people, and it is abhorrent, really. And that family now, not only have to deal with the loss of their child, no matter what direction you think Madeleine McCann went missing or otherwise, they now have to deal with this crazy woman, literally crazy woman, stalking, intimidating, pretending to be Madeleine, falsifying memories. I mean, in any other case, we would say this person has a very severe psychological issue. And I don't think the people who blew smoke up her ass for 2 years online helped. I don't think they helped because they made her feel empowered by the support that she had online, and it contributed to this. It contributed for sure. Um, yeah, listen to this. The jury told Miss Wandelt left the village on the 4th of May 2024, but before returning to Poland, she visited Charing Cross Police Station in London and told officers she was Madeleine. The court heard that a DNA sample was taken as a precaution, but was destroyed after an officer made contact with Operation Grange and discovered that there was no prospect of Miss Wandelt being who she claimed to be. An officer from the investigation into Madeleine's disappearance was sent to speak to her and contacted Miss Wandelt on the 18th of June 2024. Mr. Duck KC said the officer explained in direct terms that she was not Madeleine and should desist from seeking to approach the McCann family or risk arrest. So she cannot claim she was not warned that if she continued, that the cops would arrest her should she come back to the UK and try to continue this campaign of harassment with the family. Miss Wandelt responded to this and said that she would not give up her claim, and they said that she also made the effort to record the conversation. Why? You want to record being told you're wrong? It's I just it's crazy. Crazy. Uh, yeah, that would have been frightening for the family. So apparently, somehow she got Mrs. McCann's telephone number and was leaving voicemails for her on her phone. I mean, they must have been frightened. There she is. If you don't remember her, you probably do now. I'll put her up on the screen there. There's Julia Wandelt. And they say here that she had been rebuffed on many hundreds of occasions, and she was aware of the stress it was causing the McCann family. So she'd been told in no uncertain terms that she needs to go away, stop harassing the family, and she is not Madeleine. This is, it is, yeah. I if I wasn't reading it to you and telling you it was the truth, you would think this was some sort of crazy book we're reading, really, like some sort of true crime novel. Let me see what else I can find because this is probably the biggest thing going on in the UK right now. Let's see, stalker underway. Yeah, I'll take you to Sky News in the UK.
Madeleine McCann has told the court she felt distressed when she was confronted by two women on her driveway, one of whom falsely claimed to be her missing daughter. 24-year-old Polish national Julia Wandelt, who allegedly said she was the missing toddler, grown up, of course, is accused of stalking the family by sending them letters, messages on their phones, and turning up at their home, all of which she denies. Madeleine McCann disappeared at the age of 3 in 2007 after her parents tucked her up in bed while on holiday in Portugal. Our Midlands correspondent Lisa Dowd has the latest now from Leicester Crown Court.
Kate McCann, Madeleine's mother, was very quietly spoken as she gave evidence behind a blue curtain here at Court 2 at Leicester Crown Court today in the trial of two women accused of stalking her and her family. Now, she painted a picture of being persistently messaged by one of the women, Julia Wandelt, who is 24 and from Poland, claiming that she was her missing daughter, Madeleine McCann, even leaving answer phone messages for her because she managed to get hold of her phone number. In court, one of those messages was played. You could hear her Polish accent. She said, "I never lied. I'm not crazy. Please let me prove it." And in messages, she constantly asked Mrs. McCann for a DNA test, even went to police who are investigating Madeleine's disappearance still. Now, police sent a photo of Julia Wandelt to Madeleine McCann's parents, Kate and Jerry, and the parents concluded that it was not Madeleine. In fact, in court, Kate McCann said on the possibility of seeing Madeleine now, she says, "I think I'd recognise her." Kate McCann also said that it was the final straw when Julia Wandelt went on to message her daughter Madeleine's sister Amelie, and she contacted police about what was going on. Then in May 2024, Julia Wandelt actually turned up at a vigil trying to contact Kate and Jerry McCann. That was a vigil that's annually held in remembrance of Madeleine in Rothley in Leicestershire. She wasn't successful at that time, and it was around this time that a second defendant started to message Kate McCann as well. She's Karen Spragg, who's 61 and from Cardiff, and in December 2024, both of them turned up together on a dark night at Kate McCann's house. She was just getting out of the car. She said she got a fright because out of the darkness, she heard Julia Wandelt refer to her as Mum. And
I mean, yeah, trying to refer to her as Mum. It's very upsetting. And people asking for age progression. These are the ones that I've seen. I don't know if I've seen. There's been a few. Let me see if I can find the other ones. Oh, and then there was a woman in America after this one saying that she was Madeleine McCann, and she looks nothing like her. So I'm just trying to see if there's another version of it. There's been a few over the years, and some of them are official, and some of them are not. Some of them are done by people online and things like that. But I think the BBC one that I'm showing you here is the ones I've seen. So this will continue during the next few days, and we will hear a lot more about Julia Wandelt. Yeah. Jerry McCann told family's alleged stalker, "You are not Madeleine." Good work, Jerry. Yeah, I think it was in here. I don't know if I have it. Yeah. Kate said she did not change her phone number, which has been the same since her daughter Madeleine went missing in 2007. And then they mentioned, I think someone in the chat also said that it was the Portuguese police files. They had that phone number listed in there. And because she has never changed it, I think in the hope that Madeleine might remember the phone number and call home, something like that. So it's somewhat public. It's somewhat public. Yeah, so that's where I went to. There was an American girl too. God, the poor family, hey. Yeah. They're saying here the barrister turns to a visit from an American girl who he said turned up at their address in Leicestershire in 2022. Mr. Russell Flint KC said she spoke to Kate McCann and handed her a letter, which was taken and passed on to Operation Grange. And they said here, Mrs. McCann says, "I can't remember. She was talking about being missing. I don't remember if she said she was Madeleine. She didn't call me mother. Police said that she was a known person." So this is not the first time people have tried to approach the McCann family. It's very, very sad. Very sad. I mean, I think we'd all love to know what happened to Madeleine. I know I would. It was one of the very first true crime cases that I ever got interested in when I was younger, in my 20s. And I followed it from like day one, watching it on Sky News UK in Australia. And I think we would all love some sort of answer as to what happened to Madeline McCann, and I don't think we're ever gonna get it. I just after what is it? She went missing in '07, so in about 18 months, it's gonna be the 20-year anniversary, right? She went missing in '07, so in 2027, it's gonna be 20 years later. It's gonna be a big anniversary, and if Madeline was still around, she'd almost be a what? She'd be in her what? Late no, middle 20s. She'd be in her like 24, 25. So she would be a young woman. If she was around today, she would be a young person, like in her early 20s. And you would think if she was here today, if she was around, she may have been able to call home by now. And nothing. In 20 years, not a sighting, not anything, no anything really, nothing at all. 2 years younger than Julia, right. Kelly said, "I was following this from the start too, Ping." Yeah. So in Australia back then, we had very, very primitive cable at the time, right? Very primitive. And we didn't have a 24-hour Sky News for the UK channel. You had to watch Sky Australia, and then at midnight, it would flip over to Sky UK. And that's how we used to watch it. We used to wait till midnight, wait for it to change over to the UK version, and then we'd start watching the Madeline McCann, like what were the updates and the sort of coverage in the UK was really well done. The coverage in Australia was terrible. It was just headlines and stuff like that. But the UK one had people on the ground. They had people interviewing, and it was really, really interesting back then. Too many missing don't know they are missing. Do you think she wouldn't know? Do you think if Madeline McCann was alive today, that she wouldn't know that her life doesn't add up? I would want to know what you think. Oh, you're watching a UK channel that's doing it during the day? Okay. SP Mama said, I don't feel bad for the family. They won't tell the truth and they are inviting all the crazies because of it. There's a lot of division in the Madeline McCann thing. There are people who think the family are involved and will never change their mind. They are certain of it. There are people that believe that the parents are responsible for because of the way they left Madeline in the apartment. There is a third group of people who believe that Madeline was genuinely taken from the apartment and the family have nothing to do with it at all. And it's just a very horrible crime. So most people fit into one of those three categories. You either think the family did it and hid the body. You either think that the family are responsible because they left a child alone in the apartment, or you think the family are innocent and Madeline was taken by someone. They are the three sort of main groups of people in the sort of true crime world for Madeline McCann. Gail said, my friend and her twins got stopped at the ferry port heading back to the UK. They both looked like her and had the fleck in the eye, but there were two of them. Well, that would be complicated. Yeah, you guys let me know in the chat. Let me know what side of the Madeline McCann investigation do you think you fit into. I don't care. I won't shut people down if you think the family did it. If you think the family are innocent, that's fine too. I don't mind which part you believe in. I just want to know. Yeah, get some rest, Joe. Get some rest. What's Joe up to? How did I can't wait to watch the video of what Joe got up to out in Hooker. You drove straight through back home? Jeez. Your car must be screaming. Khaliza said, I think something happened to Madeline while left alone, like a bad fall. Parents were scared and covered up, made it look like a kidnapping. That was one of the very early theories in Madeline McCann, was that Madeline was sitting on the couch or the top of the couch or something and had fallen behind the couch and was upside down, suffocated, or broke her neck or something. And they came back, found her like that, and then freaked out and covered it up. That was one of the very early theories that came out about it. Gayla said, I don't think they should have left them alone. I mean, I think a lot of people have that opinion. Kathy said, I would never have left my children in the room alone, but I can tell you my sister would have. Okay. Let's see. Rachel said, I think she was taken. I did judge the parents for leaving her alone. Fair enough. Lisa said her parents did not do it, and neither did that guy in the prison in Germany. He's just about to get out. He's just almost done finishing his sentence in Germany, and prosecutors in Germany are scrambling because he is almost free. He will almost be a free man again, and I think they are absolutely freaking out. But those German authorities, he is out now. I know that just a couple of months ago, they were scrambling. They were searching places. They were digging stuff up. They were trying to find anything they could get him on to try and keep him in prison. I know that they were going crazy doing it. They'd even gone back to the original spot where they think she may have been dumped in Portugal, and they tried to dig it up again, but didn't find anything. But if you listen to the German authorities say they have 100% proof that Madeline is dead. They won't tell us what it is, but they're saying that they have 100% proof. Whatever that is, I don't know, but they reckon they have it. He's pretty evil. He did a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure about Madeline. When you hear about what he did to that American tourist in her hotel room, I wouldn't put anything past him. What he did to that woman was frightening, really frightening. Kathy said, my sister believed nothing bad would happen to her children. When her daughters was 5 or 6, she was getting off a bus and staying home alone. Crazy. Let me see. Is he out of jail? Hold on, Madeline. I thought he was getting out. Oh, about a week ago. Okay, that's why a few weeks ago. Christian Bruckner is the guy. So he did end up getting out. German authorities would be freaked out. What is going on? There we go. Here, this was the breaking news a few weeks ago from the BBC.
We begin with breaking news from Germany, where in the last hour, the main suspect in the disappearance of British toddler Madeleine McCann has been released from prison. Police confirmed Christian Bruckner was driven out of jail by his lawyer. The German national had been serving a sentence for an unrelated offence from 2005. German prosecutors say he is dangerous and should be fitted with an ankle tag. Bruckner denies any involvement in Madeleine McCann's disappearance. The 3-year-old vanished from the Portuguese resort of Praia da Luz in 2007. She and her siblings had been left sleeping in a holiday apartment while her parents went for dinner at a nearby restaurant.
Well, the German authorities now have problems. If they truly believe that it's him, they have they had years to try and lock down their case and then take it to trial in Germany, and they just never did. They were never able to get it across the line. Yeah, very interesting to me. So 17th of September was when he was released from a German prison, had been serving a 7-year sentence in Germany for that crime against that other woman. Yeah, I don't know where they go from here with the German investigation, but they kicked up a lot of media attention over the last 5 years But like I said before, we're never able to get it across the line. They were just never quite got it. Never quite got the evidence that they wanted. They are following him everywhere. That yeah, they probably would. Let me see. I want to see if anyone else has. Kaliza said if the McCanns were low income and not rich doctors, I think they might have been charged with neglect. Yes, I think that you might be right about that. Lisa said the whole investigation is dodgy. Not saying a ring, but saying a ring. I get what you mean. I hope they follow him, but if you couldn't get it done in the entire years that he was in prison, you had everything. You dug up things from from a property that he owned. They dug it up, found USB sticks that had been buried under a dead dog, and they found old mobile phones that he owned. They found all sorts of things, and not one of those things was enough for you to bring charges for Madeleine McCann. At what point do you have to say that you got it wrong? Because the only thing they've told the public is we know that Madeline is dead and that Christian Bruckner is responsible for it, but they've not given any proof of what their claims are. Lisa said, I think he's not the guy, just someone who received the photos. Could be, although he was in the location at the time. He was right near that area and had been known to burgle holiday apartments in the area. So, I mean, you'd have to find another suspect who fits that description and had the same sort of background in the area. Maybe there's more of them. Maybe there's more than one of them. Who knows? But you might be right. So that is going to continue. Yeah, someone just asked me in email, well, can I cover it live during the daytime in the UK? No, because I don't think it's possible. I think it would be. What time do they get into court? 9 a.m. in the UK. What's 9 a.m. in the UK? Here, what time? UK time now. It's 6 a.m. in the UK right now. So 3 hours from now would be 7 a.m. 7 p.m. for me. Then 8 hours we could do. So it'd go to like 3 a.m. in the morning, Australian time. I mean, I could do some of it during the day if you want. Yeah, if you want me to, I can. SP Mama, how are you? You brush your teeth, wanting to sleep, but your crazy child won't let you. Okay, hope your meds kick in and you get to sleep. Kelly J said, can you do a daily recap ping? Yeah, we could do that if you want. I could probably do a recap each day for the Madeleine McCann, the Julia Wandelt trial in the UK. We could do that. I haven't done one in the UK before. Yeah, we could do that. So is it? Let me check if it's going back to court tomorrow. Looks like it will be back in court tomorrow. Let me see. Oh, I like the sketch artist. Check out the sketch artist for this trial. It's a great sketch. Well done. Really nice one. They used a blue privacy screen in court. Is that so Julia can't see the McCanns? That's really interesting. Madeleine McCann disappeared at the age of 3. Yep, we know that. The trial heard. Yep. Let me see if it continues tomorrow. Yes, the trial of Miss Wandelt. Yeah, continues tomorrow morning. Okay, cool. Or this morning if you're in the UK. Yeah, we can do a daily recap of everything if you want. Every day. I might contact their PIO, or not their PIO, but their media team. See if I can get the documents after the after each day. I'll see what I can do. Leave it with me. Kathy said, I bet my sister would have left hers alone overnight. Woman of Steel said, how many children's lives will be lost or destroyed by him and his ring before Ellie catches him again? Who knows? Yeah, it's a great court sketch. It's really one of the better ones I've seen. She screamed, why are you doing this today at her? Really? Oh my God. Kelly said, and Julia was removed for having an outburst today when Madeline's mum was on the stand. I feel like there was a point with Julia that we could have all avoided this, right? 2 years ago, was it 2 years ago? Yeah. 2 years ago when that DNA test came back that she was Polish and this and that, it should have stopped there. Everyone would have gone, "Oh, well, look, okay, this woman had issues and she really thought she was Madeline or whatever, but we all know now that she isn't." That would have stopped right there, and everyone should have left it alone, and hopefully she would have gone back to Poland and maybe got some psychiatric help. Um, and it didn't have to go where it is today, and it didn't. Everyone kept encouraging her, writing things online, and yeah. Kathy said, "Did you meet any court artists?" One person, one time, and very briefly. I did very briefly. That's the only person I met, but it was one time. So I can't tell you anything because I don't know, but just met them very got introduced. They said, "Oh, this is the artist," or whatever, and then that was it. That was it. Spoke to them for about 10 seconds one time. Joe said, if I attempted a court sketch, it would more than likely look like a game of hangman that may or may not have happened at Laurie Daybell's trials. Ping can only draw stick figures. Same as me. I can draw stick figures and that's all I can do. I can't do anything else. I can't do this. This is very well done. Who's this sketch artist? Elizabeth Cook. Elizabeth Cook. It's a really nice sketch artist. Well done. Really, one of the nicer ones I've seen. Let's see. Betsy said, I don't think she would have given up, in my opinion. Yes, that's all I can do as well. Kim says, I didn't even sleep with my door closed in case her children needed her. Woman of Steel said, this is crap too. In the USA, you must face your accuser. What a coward. No, I think it's to protect the family. I think it's probably, is that what it's, I'll have to double check, but I would say it's probably to protect the family. At least I'd say so. Here. Let me look up. That's what I would have thought anyway. Yes, it's to protect the McCann family. So when Madeline McCann's mother, Kate, gave evidence, it was from behind that privacy screen. Yes, it was. It was to protect them. Probably because if you bring the McCann family in, you're sort of feeding into Julia's delusions, right? You're sort of feeding it in and you're encouraging her because she can see the McCann family right there. And yeah, psychologically, you're sort of giving her what she wants by covering up the family and allowing them to testify behind the privacy screen. You're denying Julia that sort of that hit of dopamine for getting what she wants out of all of this. Because you got to understand, this trial is what she wants. She wants the attention. She wants the family to be there. She wants to feel like she's the center of attention. Yeah, so I would say it's partly to protect the family, partly to deny Julia what she wants out of it. Let's see, can we get a thing here? Yeah. The woman accused of stalking Madeline McCann's parents shouted, "Why are you doing this to me?" and was led away in tears by officers, according to reports. They say giving evidence against the 24-year-old, Miss McCann said her first contact with the Polish woman happened about 3 years ago when Wandelt insisted that she was Madeleine, who went missing in Portugal in 2007. While stalking the missing girl's parents, she had sent emails calling them and turning up at their address, according to prosecutors. They say Wandelt is accused of one count of stalking, causing serious alarm and distress to Mrs. McCann and Jerry McCann between June 2002 and February of this year. Miss Wandelt denies the stalking. She's on trial with a 61-year-old woman named Karen Sprague from Cardiff, who is accused of the same offense and also denies the offense. They say speaking from behind a blue curtain screening her from the dock at Leicester Crown Court, Mrs. McCann spoke about the defendant visiting her home in Leicestershire on the 7th of December last year. They say, yeah. There you go. This is the other lady. So this is the other lady, Karen Sprague. This is the person who encouraged her, told her to come to the UK, and we'll fight this injustice together. We'll fight it together. We'll find the truth. Now this lady has found herself in a court case in front of the world's media because she encouraged a mentally ill woman to continue this kind of stalking and harassment. Lisa said those poor parents just made one mistake. Rachel said, I think she is dangerous and could have harmed the family or convinced someone else to. Hello, there's a person right here. Her name is Karen Sprague. Yes, she definitely could have convinced someone to act on her behalf. Well, she already did. There is another person being charged with her. So, Chipmunk said she better not have babies. Let's hope not. Kim says she's probably just as mentally ill. Possibly. We don't know as much about her than what we do about Julia. Yeah, we don't know quite as much about her. Leicester Crown Court. Let's have a look. I think ITV's been covering it. I'll have to tune into ITV tonight and see what the coverage is like in the UK on it. Nope, that's not what we want. Karen Sprague. I was trying to find out more about Karen Sprague. And then we're going to talk about the Houston bodies, the bodies in the Bayou. We're going to talk about that in a minute too. I don't want TikTok. It keeps giving me TikTok, and I'm like, I don't want TikTok. Oh, here. Yeah. Uh, 7 hours ago. Yeah, let me bring you up this last little video, and then we'll leave it for today.
Bright, funny, and caring little girl.
At the height of the search for her daughter in Portugal, Kate McCann was front and centre, clutching 3-year-old Madeleine's toy. She was desperate to find her. Nearly 2 decades on, it remains one of the UK's longest-running missing persons cases. Artists created images of what Madeleine looked like as she grew up, but it's alleged that one woman decided to try to convince the McCanns that she was their daughter. Julia Wandelt, who is 24 and from Poland, is on trial for stalking them. It's alleged she sent incessant messages to them, even turning up at their house in December 2024. Kate McCann told the court, I pulled up on the drive. It was really dark. It was the weekend. We had the gales. I was opening the boot to get something out and I heard someone say, Kate. I knew it was someone behind me, but I didn't know who it was. She called me Mum, I think. She was asking for a DNA test. Why won't you do a DNA test? And pleading with me.
How frightening for the family. You hear this sort of the picture that Kate painted So she pulls into her home. It is dark, and someone approaches her from behind and is saying things like "Mum," and "Why won't you do a DNA test?" I mean, it must be literally like one of their greatest fears, being such a public entity that they are, that they've probably been worried for years that a stalker would eventually latch onto the family and do something like this, and it finally happened. That must have been their worst fears come true about having a stalker. Khaleesa said she should have had plastic surgery to look more convincing if she was seriously trying to convince. Do not give her ideas, because I promise that'll probably happen. Don't give her ideas. Kelly said, Kate said the other lady was aggressive about it and Julia got upset with her. I think they're both like, they, it's almost like shared delusion. They both just feed off each other. Yeah, I did hear that. It says here, Sprague, who accompanied Wandelt, was slightly more aggressive, asking her whether she didn't want to find her daughter. They say here, Madeline McCann's mother, Kate, told them to leave, and Kate told them that she was distressed. So she told them that she didn't want them there. Asked how the incident made her feel, Mrs. McCann added, I felt quite distressed, to be honest. I think I had been on edge anyway because of the recent communications from her. By the way, why do they call her Mrs. McCann? And why do they call him Jerry? Why don't they call her Kate? Isn't that weird? Is it because she married Jerry and his last name is Mr. McCann? Like his last name is McCann? Because it's interesting, in all the articles I see here, they name Jerry via his first name, and they only use the name of Mrs. McCann for her, even though her name is Kate. I find that interesting. They're saying here, Mrs. McCann told the jury that Wandelt had been incessant with her messages, which left her with a little niggle about doing a DNA test. She said part of her brain was saying, what if, because of Wandelt's frequent messages, but added, having seen a photo of her, she's Polish. It doesn't make sense. She says, I can't say what Madeline looks like now, but if I saw a photo of her, I would recognize her. And she says, she added that the persistence of Wandelt's behavior started to get to her, making her almost want a DNA test to put it to bed. So Julia almost won by harassing the family. Asked about the impact on her between June 2022, when Wandelt first made contact, and February of this year, when the 24-year-old was arrested, Mrs. McCann said, I felt like it had escalated. The level of stress and anxiety it had caused me had increased over that time. Mrs. McCann said she feels more relaxed now that Wandelt had been arrested. So, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's your update from today. I will follow it for you. I'll give you an update every day. Every day. Carliza said, in my opinion, her family knows she isn't alive, so it must have been very creepy to hear a voice saying they were Madeline. Could be. Carliza said, I feel bad for the siblings of Madeline as well, because she tried to get them too. Yes, she did try to contact the other siblings of Madeline. Kelly said, crazy it's been that long now that Julia has been at them. It's been years now, years. I'll give you another one tomorrow. I will turn on ITV and Sky News tonight and see if there's any coverage. If someone from the UK can tell me if are they doing live court coverage out of the UK, like on BBC or ITV or something like that. By the way, I want to thank my friend Linda. Linda, thank you so much for the donation last night. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you, and it helps out a lot. Gayla said no. Okay, that probably explains why we're not getting any video. It seems like they are just doing court reporting. Let's see. Appeared in court. All right, that's it. We're done with that one. All right, let's go to Houston. I want to talk about this because we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, and I think it just keeps going. We thought it was over. We thought we were done with the bodies in the bayou, but we are not. There was another body found in White Oak Bayou near Taylor Street, Houston, according to police. Yeah, it's only a little 27-second video. I'll play it.
Body has been spotted in White Oak Bayou near Taylor Street and I-10, just outside of downtown. Right now, officials working to recover it. This comes after 6 other bodies were found in Houston bayous over the past 2 weeks. Now, Mayor Whitmire and the Houston police chief have denied rumors of a serial killer being found on TikTok and social media. Investigators saying there is no connection among these cases. We are waiting to learn more about this latest incident.
So this one was a male's body that was recovered, and now they're up to number 16 this year. Yeah. So we've gone up one. We've gone up one from the other week. And are they all related? Are they not? I don't know, but it's interesting. So watch this.
Bayous are back in the spotlight after another body was pulled from the water just this morning. It's the 7th in the past month. On your screen is a look at the locations where bodies have been found recently, with today's discovery marking the 7th. Our Rochelle Turner was the first reporter on scene. She's joining us live from White Oak Bayou, right along White Oak Drive and Gladys Street, with what she's learning this afternoon. Rochelle?
Well, Lisa, I can tell you that HPD confirmed there are no signs of foul play. Now, I did watch dive crews from HPD's dive team. They pulled the man's body from this water right here behind me. It took investigators only about 2 hours to process the scene, but many people who walk along these trails told me that they still feel safe, but they would like to see a little bit more presence along the bayous with the recent incidents that have happened lately.
I don't know. It's crazy. You know, when I went down the bayou, there was cops, police, ambulance, fire, rescue everywhere. Kind of thought it might be another body.
And it was. This time, a man pulled from White Oak Bayou, marking the 7th recovery in the past month and the 23rd so far this year in Harris County.
Sounds like something's going on.
City leaders, including the mayor, have said there's no evidence connecting these cases or pointing to a serial killer.
For something like a serial killer to happen, there needs to be commonality between the victims. Serial killer tends to focus on a particular age, race, gender, occupation when they operate.
The mayor also mentioned that many of the victims are believed to have been experiencing homelessness. For bikers and runners who use the trails daily, the news is unsettling.
It seems like they could set up trail cameras and let us know either way. Am I concerned for my safety? No, but there are a lot of people who are at risk, and they deserve to be looked after too.
HPD.
So at least some of them are homeless people. That's very sad that, the most vulnerable are the ones that are winding up like this. Joe said, no signs of foul play. That's exactly what they said about every single Ladybird Lake body. That's true. The one in Austin, they have said the exact same thing. There is the commonality. It is sort of, it's happening just so frequently. Do they pass away and fall into the water? Do they have a drug overdose and fall into the water? Is that something that happens? How do they get into the water? That would be good to know. Like, how do they actually, how does it happen is what I'm trying to say. Because maybe if you can find out how it happens, you can help prevent it maybe. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else here. They said, authorities report the body was a make bad. What is a make bad? And there was no obvious signs of foul play. What is a make bad? I have never heard that. What? That has to be incorrect. What the hell is a make bad? The investigation is pending autopsy results, and a cause of death by the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences will be released at some point. They're saying at least 16 bodies have been found in Houston bayous this year. There have been at least 16 found, and just this year, 5 were recovered in the same week of September 15. The following week, another body was located on September 26, and you can see the timeline here. September 20, they located another one at Buffalo Bayou. And then on the 26th, another one was recovered in Buffalo Bayou underneath the Millam Street Bridge. And then we had another one today as well. And they're saying here that they just don't believe there's any foul play. No serial killer on the loose, according to authorities and the Houston mayor.
Mayor John Whitmire and Houston Police Chief Noah Diaz just wrapped up a news conference updating the public on bodies recently found in Houston bayous.
Fox 26's Leslie Delascore is live at HPD headquarters. Leslie, what did they have to say?
Yeah, Mayor Whitmire says enough is enough, and there is no evidence of a serial killer on the loose in Houston. The mayor also said that the 5 drownings are alarming, and 1 is even too many, but people need to give HPD time to investigate and update the cases. The mayor said there are over 2,500 miles of bayous in Houston, and sometimes when the homeless pass, they end up in the bayou. He also talked about how alcohol plays a role and how mental health plays a role. He said sometimes foul play also plays a role, but often not. He says he's working right now to get more homeless folks in shelters, and at the appropriate time, more information will come out on these cases. Now, Chief Noe Diaz says at this time there's no evidence to suggest that any of the 5 bodies found recently are connected. He said that the medical examiner's office will determine the cause of death, but rumors like the ones that have spread across social media recently stir fear and anxiety in our community.
I don't think the rumors stoke fear as such. I think the rumors are a result of fear. I think it's the fear within the community that turns that into rumors of a serial killer, not the other way around. And I think people being uncertain about why these people are ending up in the bayous, that is causing the fear because people don't have an explanation of why. And that is, probably what I think. Joe said, this is almost verbatim about what they have said about Ladybird Lake, so eerily similar. The one in the UK in Manchester, they say the same thing, that there's no foul play, there's no serial killer. So it seems like anywhere there is a major water system near where humans frequent, like in Manchester, in Austin, in now Houston, anytime you get like these run of people ending up in the water, it seems to go in one or two directions. The authorities say there's no foul play. The community thinks there is a serial killer, and it just goes around and around and around. So I think it's just a byproduct of living near the water. People end up in the water, and yeah, I don't know if we got a serial killer, but hey, some of them might be foul play. Not all of them, but maybe some of them. I mean, you've had so many in just a month. Unless there's something else going on that's causing these homeless people to wind up in the water. Like, are they passing out drunk and falling into the water? Are they having drugs and passing out on land and somehow rolling into the waterway and not being able to swim, wake up, and they drown accidentally? Like, that could be a reason. People doing this trank and fentanyls and stuff like that. Half of them don't even know what they're doing, yet alone being able to swim if they got into the water. So you never know. Joe said there is a major water system near almost every major and minor city. Yeah, if you search those areas, I would be shocked if they didn't have a number of people every year that die in the water in their city. There's probably a whole bunch of them. At least I would think so. Let's have a look. We'll pick another. Hold on, guys. Sorry, I had to go check on Mrs. Ping. I had to check on her. She's just got here. Gail said, I missed the very beginning of the stream. Did Ping cover the shooting in Australia today? Did we? I don't think so. I had something else from Gus for you, but a shooting in Australia? I don't remember a shooting. I didn't see anything about a shooting today. Do you mean Austria? Do you mean Austria? I don't see a shooting. Hold on. Oh, there was one that happened a couple of days ago where a guy was firing from a window. That happened a couple of days ago, though. There was a UFC fighter that was shot dead in Sydney today. Seems Sydney has a lot of shootings. There was this one, former UFC fighter Suman Mokhtarian shot dead in Sydney. This one happened. He was in Riverstone 6 p.m. on Wednesday, which was yesterday, and they said they found him with gunshot wounds and he died at the scene. There was one a couple of days ago where this guy was in a room above a storefront and he was firing out onto the street. They said he fired maybe like 50 shots into the area. It was pretty crazy. I don't know if that's someone you're talking about. It was this one here.
Still trying to determine the motive behind an indiscriminate shooting spree in the city's inner west overnight, which left one man in a critical condition and dozens more injured. Reporter Ethan Ricks is following the story and is with me now. Now, Ethan, police have given an update just a short time ago. What more details did they reveal?
Good afternoon, Kath. We may be able to see behind me the Aqua Blue building, which has shattered glass. Police say that is where the gunman had positioned himself around 7:30 last night as bullets rained down on innocent bystanders and people who just happened to be in the area that night. They say up to 50 shots were fired by this man who was armed with a high caliber rifle, and he stuck his head out of the window and fired several bullets at people who just happened to be here. There was...
Yeah, so there was that one, and he just decided to start firing out of the window at people. It was a little random. And then there was this one. I think it's the same one I just told you about. They say police are investigating whether last night's fatal shooting of a man on a residential Sydney street is an underworld job and linked to Tuesday's foiled gangland hit. Yeah, there was a gangland hit that was foiled on Tuesday, where police actually stopped a car in broad daylight and they were on their way to commit a murder, and they stopped them and foiled it. So yeah, I'm just trying to find out more about this underworld one. That's the only one I can find is this one in the Daily Telegraph from a few hours ago. It was about the UFC fighter and was found here. Shot dead in suspected gangland attack in Sydney's northwest. And they said he was out for a walk in Riverstone on Wednesday night. They're saying he survived an attempt on his life over a year ago when someone else tried to kill him. And apparently they did the job. They did the job, unfortunately. Car burnt out around the corner, probably. They always do that. But this guy was shot dead, unfortunately. And they're saying that you can see here, bullets had hit these areas here. And they said that yeah, there you go. Bullet hole through the fence. Looking for there you go. Look at that, shell casings on the ground out the front of the shooting. So Wouldn't be another day in Sydney without a gangland shooting. It seems like they happen almost daily now. That's sort of been the way it is in Sydney for the last, I don't know, a couple of decades. They have these sort of gangland shootings that flare up and happen almost every day, and then they go away again, and then they come back again. What are they saying here? Cops probe if UFC fighter's death is linked to an attack on home of fellow Australian top team coach. They're saying police are probing whether the brazen shooting of the UFC fighter Suman in Sydney's West is linked to a drive-by shooting last Friday. So there you go. And they said that he survived an alleged attempt on his life at Wentworthville in 2024. And then in April this year, had a planned mixed martial arts fight cancelled by the New South Wales police over concerns of another imminent plot to kill him. So it seems like the cops and him have known for a while that his life was under threat, unfortunately. And they say the Daily Telegraph understands police are investigating his death and are looking at links to another shooting in Cecil Hills last Friday. They're always connected to something. There you go. There you go. So another gangland shooting. Oh, okay. Probably couldn't buy him off. Maybe. All right. I think we're going to get out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see what I've got here. All right. Think we're going to get out of here. I will be back tomorrow. Remember, Friday night, we're going to be doing some things on the other channel. Some more like just fun things. We're going to try. We've got a pie we're going to taste. We've got a pie, an American pie. Hey, my friend. Hey, Wendy. What's up? Not seeing straight enough to read the chat. Just saying hello. Thanks, my friend. I appreciate it. Good to see you all. Hey, Chipmunk. Yep, I'll bring you a Julia Wandelt update tomorrow. We'll see. If I'm up tonight and I feel okay, I will bring you a live update from the UK, but let's see what kind of information I can get between now and then. So, hey, April B, how are you, my friend? Yep, I will see you guys soon, okay? Until then, until tomorrow, good night, everyone. Stay safe out there and support the channel. Hit the subscribe button and help Ping out. What? The expiration date on the cottage cheese is July 25th. I wouldn't eat it. Any dairy products that have been way past their date, I wouldn't eat it, my friend. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Don't follow Joe's advice and eat cottage cheese from July 25th. You may end up in hospital, okay? Good night, everyone. Peace out. Bye.